Hi, it's Joey Reynolds. Under the spotlight here that's shaky. When I was doing stand-up comedy with Les Paul at the Iridium every Monday night, all the time I was on WOR network, he had the sound man turn my mic off if I wasn't funny, and the lighting guy would have the lights blink when he wanted me the hell off the stage. Also, Les would say, "Hey, there's a phone call for you." See, the lights went off. That's how. That's how I knew that I was bombing. Of course, I knew I was bombing. I didn't need any help from the lighting guy. All right, now let's see. Are all the lights on now? Do I look? I look hours younger, right? Oh, the vanity of it all. And Gail King, I got a message for you. You are an idiot. She gets on television and tells you, she defends everybody she likes personally, which actually I used to do as a disc jockey, so I shouldn't be too angry with you. Because I would play records I liked and put them on the radio, and you had to go along with it. This is pre-Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen's going on tour. I mean, the guy's my age, and my wife went to school with him at Freehold High. Maybe he's a little younger. She was a little younger. Anyway, Bruce Springsteen's going on a concert. One of the tickets masters is describing the ticket sales as being some of the tickets going between $4,000 and $5,000 to see his latest concert tour. Now, we're struggling here to buy milk and Cheerios and filling the gas cars, and this guy is going to get $5,000 and then talk about helping those overseas who are starving. Well, you can start right where you live, Bruce. Start sending the money to Freehold. Go have a Frederice's pizza. It's a racetrack, Freehold's a racetrack. Talking about where what do I call it? Where the windows clean the people. Yeah, that's it. So here I am on a return engagement. They're going to give me $5,000 to do this. The light on? No, that light's going. Oh boy, I must really be bombing. So far, no show, right? This is like Jimmy Fallon and those three guys at night that are on late night television. You talk about guys who are a bigger bust than Dolly Parton. Come on, I mean, let's have somebody funny on TV at night, late night, and not have to stream Johnny Carson's old shows. We need to develop some talent. I've been wanting to do this. I go to the Friars Club. I said, this is the monastery. It's the Friars Club, like the Franciscan priests. And what you need to do in the monastery is develop young talent, so that we put them on TV, not on amateur shows. Amateur shows are for amateurs. You want to put professional people who are not on variety shows on television by creating a variety show. When are they going to do that again? Just put a show on there that they actually pay people to do. That would be a wonderful thing. Maybe I'll just change the lighting over here. Does that help me any? Now I'm minutes younger. So I don't care about the lighting. What I care about is you guys. I care about the audience. I always cared about the audience. And these actors like Kiki, what's her name? Kiki something or other. I forget her name. Kiki Palmer. She's in that, and Nope, which is the movie that did about $9 billion this weekend. And the more you talk about it on television, the more it does. So TV is so out of content that they do on their shows, they're all about the old stars. Like there was a thing on Joni Mitchell today, wonderful singer, and she's learning guitar again and by watching her own videos. Nice story, very nice story. That I saw with Joni Mitchell. She was great with her big yellow taxi where I put all of I put the movies in cabs in New York. It reminded me of me and my big yellow taxi. And speaking of yellow, that's Kiki Palmer, that's her name. Where somebody was accusing her of being a black actress who looks light enough to work. Like Harry Belafonte was in the old days, Lena Horne. They called mulattoes, people who were acceptable to the white audience because we had such prejudice back then. We don't have that anymore. Now you just got to get used to whoever's in front of you. If they entertain me, I don't give a damn if they look like they're in the cantina bar scene in Star Wars. You could have a horn coming out of your nose if you amuse me. I don't care. And look at what we do. We watch court TV, but we don't want to go. We watch all these trials, LAPD. We watch Judge Judy. We watch all the trials, but nobody wants to be on jury duty. Well, right now you're on Joey duty, is what you're on. You got to watch me. You don't have to watch me at all. All you guys do is click me off. And a lot of people have been doing that for years. Speaking of clicking me off, in New York we had a record years ago on Buffalo, which was on Billboard, called "Rats in My Room." My partner Danny Neverth and I recorded it, and it was a funny record. As a matter of fact, I got even Tiny Tim, if you recall him. He recorded a version of it later. He loved the original version of "Rats in My Room." There was a woman who sang it opera style. So we put the thing out. We made it modern, and for '66 we used that word modern. And I had the record was a hit because we were controlling the music. That's why Danny was in charge of the music, so he made it number one. Very simple. No lobbying. Just simply, hey, I'm in charge here. This is going to be number one. It's like people who have their kids in their companies. So "Rats in My Room" was a big hit, except in New York City where they had rat festation. And now they're using rats to test children's boundaries. What they've done is they have a room full of rats with walls built around them, and then another room full of rats with no walls, with no boundaries. And the rats without any boundaries, there goes my light, I guess my time is up. The children with no boundaries, or rather the rats with no boundaries, started to destroy each other. But the ones who had the wall around them, they had respect. See, that's what we need, to build a wall. Trump had the right idea, put up a wall, but it should have been around New York. Should have built it around Wall Street, where all these greedy little pigs are. You can't be too mad, because I am a capitalist, and I have enjoyed a nice life. I like success and I like money, but not to the point of where it overrules everything in my life, See, people with money usually are afraid because they're going to lose it, and they all know that we want it. That's why. I don't know. See, we're a free country, and we're cross-country friendly with everybody in the world until they step on our money. We want their oil and we're giving them money for it. I mean, we're not asking for a handout. We're doing business with these places. The guys who run the places are the problem, because they want to be in power all the time. They want to have lifetime jobs. If you want a lifetime job, become a congressman or a senator. That's a lifetime job. Nobody ever gets rid of these guys. They look like the crows on the fence in Dumbo. Always trying to find fault with somebody is the media. That's what I'm a part of. The social media comes from regular media, because nobody gets up in the morning and says, I'm a genius, I have something figured out, here's what's going to happen, I know how to do this. That's not true. What people do is they get up in the morning, they turn the radio or the television on, or they talk to somebody, and then they form an opinion and they put it on the internet. That's how you get social media. They're not social at all. Actually, it's gossip. It's a gossip media is what it is. People are traveling with opinions and stories. Like yesterday, what did I hear? That the Wall Street Journal, which is owned by Murdoch, he also owns Fox, don't forget, very Republican, has said that it's time for Trump to go. Somebody told me that yesterday. And the New York Post, which is also his newspaper, it's time for, that's because there's no more power in them, I guess, And one of the channels, one of those Republican channels or the conservative channels decided not to carry his speech the other night, his rally. His rallies make money for him. That's why. That's what it's for. It keeps money in the party, because he sells the T-shirts and the record albums. I would do the same thing, except for Bruce Springsteen. $5,000 to go see him. I didn't like him when he was $100. What the hell am I going to pay $5,000 to watch Bruce Springsteen, the boss, singing songs about workers when nobody works? No one wants a job. The only job that did well was Steve Jobs. That's the one you want to be. Of all the jobs, that's the one I want. I want to be Steve Jobs. Now, money. We're about money. We're a money culture, and yet we won't give it up easily. People do not send me their money. If I had a fund me thing, GoFundMe, you can go fund yourself. Nobody wants to give money to somebody who looks like they're doing well. But if I sat here and coughed and was in a wheelchair and I had a walker, you still wouldn't give me any money, because it's me. It's about personality, see? There's a couple cute kids raising money for St. Jude's. I like that. That's on the TV every day now here. I don't know. We should be talking about this stuff, and not pushing color and agendas and separating our ideologies. But this thing on January 6th, some of my friends didn't want to watch it because they don't want to be mad at Trump. I mean, that's not the right reason to not watch something. You want to watch something, and we should all sit there and sit in the same room and talk back and forth about what Republicans and Democrats ought to talk with each other. Is that ever going to happen again? I don't know that we're capable of surrendering our concepts because of ego. That's the thing that gets in the way. EGO, edge God out, they call it in some circles. Ego is the thing that has no top and no bottom. You talk about boundaries. I mean, when someone's ego is operating, boy, forget it. You better move out of the way, because ain't nobody going to have any fun around here when that sets off. And whether it's in a family or in a business or any place, I had a little ego exercise on JetBlue the other day. The plane was 1 hour not even on the runway, but at the gate. I took a good long nap because they said it was too hot, and the payload. I guess the plane needs to, on a shorter runway at Westchester Airport, which is New York Airport. They have to weigh everything, and it was so hot that the weight was off, and we had to wait till it cooled down, or push some fat people off the plane. I thought everybody in the middle seat ought to go home. Then I would feel a little safer too, and not take my mask off. I look like the Phantom of the Opera with my masks. Oh yeah, you know what we need to do before I leave here today? We owe Al Gore an apology. Now that guy he ran for president, and he was talking about how the votes were miscounted, and then he went home. So that was a nice thing, but he really warned us about global warming. Now this is the guy that was telling us about it, and we all thought he was on another planet. He even had a television network at one point in his life. He was trying to tell us something. So now we have the global warming, and we need to say, I'm sorry, Al, you were right. We have such a hard time, speaking of ego, saying you were right. I was wrong, or I should have done this, or the shoulda, coulda, woulda. You shoulda, coulda, woulda all over yourself when you do that. People don't want to say I'm sorry or I was wrong. It's a hard thing to do. I've done that a lot. I've had to do that a lot, or else get fired. I've had 40 jobs. I didn't like them. It's you can watch me on YouTube and my Joey Reynolds Cheesecake. You can go to joeyreynolds.cheesecake.com, Joey Reynolds Cheesecake on Facebook, where I have thousands. I have the maximum amount of followers allowed on Facebook without paying. What is it, 5,000 or something like that? So you can watch me on the Facebook and see me on YouTube. See, I'm still around, but I'm not pushing to make $5,000 a ticket, although I'm thinking about it. I wonder if anybody would like to hear the remake of Rats in My Room. The Rats in My Room in Little Italy is a gangster museum. That's the rats. Those are the rats. It's a Reynolds rap.